Welcome back. This time we're talking about Free State of Jones, the new historical drama set during the U.S. Civil War. This is directed by Gary Ross, who gave us Seabiscuit as well as the first Hunger Games movie, and stars Matthew McConaughey as real-life Newt Knight, a poor white farmer from Mississippi who's conscripted into the Confederate Army and quickly becomes disillusioned both by the death that he sees on a daily basis as well as the inequalities between the rich plantation owners and the poor farmers who are making up the majority of the army. He eventually deserts the army and is forced to go into hiding in Pascagoula Swamp, where he encounters a number of runaway slaves and befriends them. And as the war goes on, more and more deserters end up there, and they become sort of this quasi-army that's neither for the Confederacy nor are they really for the Union. They're just tired of fighting for a cause they don't feel is theirs, as well as wanting to be closer to home to protect their families against the ever-increasing taxation and conscription of goods by the Confederate Army so they can continue fighting the war. While it touches on a wide range of subjects, this really is a biographical picture of Newt Knight and his life, pretty much running from about 1862 in the middle of the Civil War all the way into the 1870s through Reconstruction, the rise of the Ku Klux Klan, and the passage of the 15th Amendment, which allowed all men, regardless of race, the right to vote. This is a really powerful historical drama. And it tells a story that I frankly was not familiar with at all until I first saw the trailer for this movie. I am a pretty big history buff, and over the years I've studied quite a bit about the American Civil War. And this was a story I had never heard of before. Newt Knight is just a fascinating character. He was just someone who fought injustice when he saw it, whether it was the fact that poor white farmers were having to fight in the Civil War while the children of plantation owners, as long as they had a certain number of slaves, would be exempt. That was actually a law that gets passed early on in the movie, and that really begins his disenchantment. I mean, he was already there, but that was sort of the straw plus a personal tragedy that happens, ultimately leads him to desert. And then there's the injustice of these families that are left back on their homesteads, and how the Confederacy keeps sending these tax agents to take larger and larger shares, and of course the greatest injustice of all, slavery, and how he befriends these runaway slaves, and how even amongst this army he's the most accepting of them, and eventually finding romance with Rachel, played by, I'm going to do my best here, Gugu Mbatha-Raw. She previously was in Concussion and plays a really strong supporting role in this movie. Another standout is Mahershala Ali, who plays Moses, another runaway slave looking for his family. The actor, he previously was in the two Mockingjay movies and has a role in House of Cards. Now, the biggest problem facing a lot of biographical movies is how to condense a life into a 2-hour frame. A popular method recently has been to condense that down into a short time frame, say like Lincoln, which basically looks at about 3 months of his life. And then there's others that try to do the whole thing, and more often than not, the more focused versions tend to be the better movie. So I was a little nervous when I was thinking that this was going to span about 20 years. And of course, the vast majority of the movie is set during the Civil War. So when we get beyond that into more of the Reconstruction and the voting issues, I was worried that the movie would lose some of its momentum because of the action that a war provides to a movie. And I have to say, it really doesn't lose that steam. The issues being delved into are just so powerful, so meaningful, so heartbreaking, and Gary Ross and the entire cast and everyone just, they imbue what we're seeing on screen with so much emotional powerfulness that it really never loses that momentum. And I have to say, overall, this is an excellent movie, and it vastly exceeded my expectations. I wasn't expecting a bad movie, but I really wasn't expecting such a great movie that I ended up getting. So if you're looking for a strong powerful historical drama about a story that you might not be familiar with, and like great performances by strong actors, then this is one I can highly recommend. This is not your typical summer movie. It's more of a serious movie that's got a serious message and a very interesting story to tell. So, Free State of Jones, definitely worth going to see. If you have seen it, please let me know what you thought about it. And as always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews. And before I close, let me just say this is my 50th video. The response has been great. I've enjoyed making these videos. I hope you've enjoyed watching them. If you have any suggestions on how to make these different, or other things to try doing, other things to review or analysis or anything else, please let me know. And here's to another 50 to come and more. So until next time, I'll see you at the movies.